My name is Gavin Butler, and you are listening to this week's episode of the Mid-Major Baseball Rundown. Hello, welcome to all of you who are tuning into the Mid-Major Baseball Rundown. This is episode number 7, and I am your host, Gavin Butler. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time you are listening to this. I just hope that you are doing good. I am. I had a great weekend. It was a wild weekend of regionals. My shirt here says feeling fine by the mountainside on both the front and the back, and that is exactly what I was doing this weekend. I was in Morgantown, West Virginia, drove a clean 16 hours round trip, as that was the closest regional to where I live, my neck of the woods, and oh man, it delivered. Wow. Not only did I just have a great time enjoying Morgantown, West Virginia, great people down there. Also, everything is a lot less expensive than it is in my neck of the woods near like Saratoga prices. If you know that area of New York, the racetrack right around there, stuff gets real expensive. I noticed in West Virginia when I was there, food, drinks, transportation costs, everything. It was like you pay for it, and I don't feel the physical sharp pain in my chest that I do paying for these same things back here. And just great people, great atmosphere. That place was booming off rip. I was only able to get standing room tickets for the game that I went to, which was Saturday's West Virginia and Kentucky matchup, and it was still crowded. It was like I brought a buddy with me, one of my good friends, and we enjoyed the games, enjoyed our weekend, and it was like, oh my gosh, our spot standing room, which was right down the first baseline, it was so packed, and the Mountaineer fans were so into what was going on and just there for the regionals that it was like whenever you want to, go to the bathroom, go get a drink, something like that, we would have to spread eagle to keep each other's spots in the standing room section. It was awesome. The game that I went to, Kentucky had won, but that's the regional that I want to start this podcast by talking about because oh my gosh, it was insane from the get-go. Actually, maybe not from the get-go. That was a good Kentucky weight game the first day I was driving, so wasn't able to watch much of it. West Virginia took care of the Binghamton Bearcats later that day. Then it was Wake Forest who took down Binghamton, West Virginia in the first matchup against Kentucky. So when they both had one win, no losses. Rough day for Maxiell. There was some injury concern. He was pulled in the first inning, but Kentucky got after him, chased him in the first, put up a 6-0 lead in the second inning, and it was like the place, the ballpark, Monongalia County Ballpark in Morgantown just died. It all went from rocking, booming, up for the Mountaineers to just dead. Like pin drop once Kentucky took that 6-0 lead. And what happened next? Oh, West Virginia battled back, tied at 6-6. It was an insane back and forth game. That place was so loud. I was jumping, yelling, high-fiving Mountaineer fans. It was a great atmosphere. Go check out the live coverage on our Instagram page if you haven't been keeping up with that already. Kentucky did take game one. Their bullpen just was able to outlast West Virginia's a little bit longer into the game. West Virginia, that yell injury really threw off their pitching plans for the day. They did a great job coming back, super resilient, making that a close game throughout. But Kentucky was just able to outlast them in game one. West Virginia then gritted their way through the losers bracket, beat Wake Forest the following morning, needed 3 wins in just over 48 hours to advance to supers. And what did they do that night against Kentucky? Oh my gosh, if you guys didn't see that Saturday game. And if you guys didn't see the Saturday or Sunday Kentucky West Virginia games, you're in for a treat once you go just watch the clips of those. Nuts. Cinema. I'm not exaggerating. Those might be the best 3 baseball games I've watched in succession. They, wow. That ninth inning on Sunday. West Virginia went into the top of the ninth, down 9-6 as the road team in their regional because they were playing from the losers bracket. Down 9-6 in the top of the ninth, facing elimination. We're able to get some base runners moving. Drove in two, made it 9-8. I forget who drove in those two runs. I don't have the box score pulled up right in front of me, but this ending, down 9-8, runners on first and third. The Kentucky pitcher stepped off. Again, his name is escaping me right now, too. There was just so much streams, just so much baseball going in and out this weekend that, little details like that, they might miss me. So sorry about that, guys. But the Kentucky reliever, he steps off, fakes the throw to first. You can't do that. It's a balk. So balked the tying run in. 9-9. Max Graveline for the Mountaineers comes up, smokes one to right field. 11-9. West Virginia holds on. Q Country Roads. That was electric. I wish I could have been at that game. Unfortunately, circumstances prevented that, but it was awesome just being able to watch it. My favorite part of that clip was you could see the West Virginia bullpen in right field, so it was hit right over them, I believe, just causing mayhem in the pen. There were guys climbing the fence, just like adrenaline, pandemonium. You have to watch that clip. I believe I reposted it on the Instagram. And then the Sunday game was almost even better. West Virginia took the lead in that one, 5-1. Held on most of the game. They were playing very good baseball, both offensively and defensively. Then the Kentucky guys, back to back, tied the game late. Two swings, made it 5-1, 5-5 in the eighth. Just nothing was close. Nothing was easy for either team in those three games. I don't think that my storytelling is even doing these games justice. You need to go check them out if you missed these from the weekend for some reason. Some of the best, most electric, awesome baseball I've watched in my life. Anyway, that game three, which was win or go home, spot in the supers on the line between Dub V and the Wildcats. West Virginia in the bottom of the 10th. Got two runners on. Leadoff man singled, then a walk, and up to the plate with a spot in Super Regionals on the line for West Virginia steps Armani Guzman. And if you guys haven't seen what happened yet here, I'm just going to show you. So if you're on the audio side, you're just going to hear this, obviously. YouTube will have the video being played, but it is all just awesome. I'm going to let the clips speak for themselves. So bear with me as I share my screen here. This first one is from Armani's Instagram. So here we go.
Guzman center field. It bounces! Cresser headed home. Here's the throw. Armani Guzman walks it off. The MVP of the Clemson Regional. He's walked off Kentucky once. He walks him off again at Kendrick Family Ballpark.
Insane. And this is what the ballpark looked like after. This is the stuff of goosebumps.
my home far
Guzman on the
away.
hot mic, Sabins on the field, whole family.
Feeling that I should have been home. What? Well, Marty Guzman, you'll be.
Um, awesome. Just the stuff with Goosebumps. That's one of the best. It's one of my favorite baseball clips of all time. Um, just the emotion in that building after Guzman. Steve Sabins, this whole family ripping it on the field. Guzman tearing up on the hot mic, singing the words himself. It's you can't script a better ending to that regional than what we saw. And I'm just glad that I got to saw a game of it. I have the FOMO now of not going to that game in particular, but how could you have known that that was going to happen? Nobody could have known that something like that would have happened, would have progressed through the rest of that regional. So shout out to the Nears. That I wanted to start by talking about that regional because it was so insane and because I was there. We'll move on now, but wow, what a weekend. And that just gets us started. Not only did that happen, the number one and number two teams in the country, UCLA and Georgia Tech, no longer in this tournament. UCLA lost twice to St. Mary's. Cal Poly won the Los Angeles Regional, and they will be playing none other than West Virginia this upcoming weekend. I am so stoked for this regional. Cal Poly has been incredibly hot lately, super hot in the Big West. Didn't take a loss in the UCLA regional, went right through VT and St. Mary's twice. They will be traveling to Morgantown for the Morgantown Super Regional. That's going to be a great one. Watch every second of it. That is my biggest suggestion. Georgia Tech walked off by the Sooners on the other side of the bracket. Oklahoma will be traveling to Lawrence for the to Kansas, or yeah, to Lawrence for the Lawrence Super Regional to play against the Kansas Jayhawks. Um, yeah, Georgia Tech. That shocked me. That was my national championship pick. So my bracket is how you say shredded now, but that's okay. I expected that to happen. Um, I didn't have UCLA going as far, so that one didn't tank my bracket. But yeah, the GT loss yesterday did it in. That Oklahoma walk-off was freaking sweet. Give me just one moment and I will pull this one up for you too. Just got to share my screen once again. So this one was number two team in the country, Georgia Tech, leading Oklahoma 7-7, bottom 10th. Winner go home spot and supers on the line. Dayton Taki comes to the plate for the Sooners. Actually, hold on. I'm going to end the screen share just to make sure I'm sharing my sound, just because that was bugging out the last time for some reason. Okay, share sound is on. All right, so we're good. All right, yeah, got to see this. This is how the Oklahoma, Georgia Tech, Atlanta regional ended.
Dying on every pitch. Taki in the air to center. Burris going back. That ball is gone. It's gone. Dayton Taki sends Oklahoma to Super Regionals.
Yup. Now let's see how the sound sound. All right, there we go. Yup. Boomer Sooner. What a moment. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Shout out to the Sooners. They will be playing Kansas next. Um, I'd also like to talk about the Trojan on Trojan Super Regional. Little Rock and Troy both won their regionals, and Troy will be hosting the Troy Super Regional. Troy won the Gainesville Regional. Their offense was kind of just unstoppable towards the end, just piling runs on Florida. I think it was 16-11 was the Sunday score, and then the if necessary game, Troy kind of put belt to ass. 10-2 win against the Gators in their own house. That offense is running scary right now. I would not get in front of that train. And then Little Rock winning the Hattiesburg Regional. Great regular season for Southern Miss. Just did not have enough juice to get through the regionals. Tough end of the season for them, unfortunately. Little Rock, wow, just they played quality grit baseball all throughout. They had close wins, close games. Jack State put up a great effort. That was one of, really solid mid-major that I thought all season. And Little Rock handled their business. And now we've got in one quadrant of the bracket, the four teams remaining, West Virginia, Cal Poly, Little Rock, Troy. I would not have predicted myself saying that a week prior. So as we move throughout the bracket, over on the other side, we had the Tallahassee Regional, where my Johnnies got the job done. I did predict that one in the bracket episode. You can go back and watch that. I had the 4 seed Johnnies escaping that regional. I thought it was going to get a little chaotic, and chaotic it got. Um, St. John's beat Florida State twice in this regional. First game, they had a rally late that they escaped Florida State, and then yesterday, the score of that game, let me just pull it up real quick. I honestly forgot. Again, so many scores this weekend. Um, but yeah, they won. Oh yeah, 5-4. I do remember. I watched that game. Yeah, from start to finish. It was close. St. John's grand slam. Um, off the bat of their catcher, Adam Agresti, to take the lead, and they just never looked back. Took a 5-1 lead, 5-2. Florida State cut the lead to 5-4 late, but St. John's got the job done to advance to supers. They will be playing against Alabama in the Tuscaloosa Super Regional. I will be honest, I did not get my eyes on the Tuscaloosa regional too much, just with, my travel being in Morgantown, live boots on ground at that game. That one I just did not get eyes on as much, but congratulations to the Tide for winning that regional, and I'm excited for Alabama St. John's. We'll just keep crisscrossing across the bracket. So that was the got both top quadrants of the bracket covered now. And that moves us down to Chapel Hill, the Chapel Hill Regional, where UNC disposed of the, we believe, East Carolina Pirates, the sick puppies. Puppies could not get the job done. The UNC offense was just too much. They could not tap into that pitching depth. McDuffie was phenomenal in that last game for UNC. I remember ECU had them on the ropes towards the end. Had some runners on, and McDuffie came in and yeah, double play. And Tar Heels rolled through the regional there. Shout out to them. I'll just show this because I got it right here. My UNC hat. Shout out. And also, I got to do this one just because of what is starting tonight. Go Knicks, baby. Go New York. Go New York. Go. Yeah, we have to stop a 7-5 alien from putting the ball in the hoop, so it's going to be an uphill battle, but they're ready for it. I hope they're ready for it. I don't know. I'm not in that locker room, but go Knicks. It's an awesome time of year. We've got the College World Series, got the NBA Finals, Knicks Spurs, if you're into that, and the World Cup. They're all starting around the same time. Those are 3 events that I love. You can see the soccer jerseys posted up in the back. We've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic and random pull for any of you soccer fans. We've got a Man United Bastian Schweinsteiger jersey in the back. Some good pulls right there. But I love soccer, grew up playing it, so I'll be tuning into the World Cup when I can. Obviously, this baseball is going to come first. But yeah, love the World Cup, love it. Gonna take a break here to sip on my Poppy. Love my prebiotics. Sponsor me, Poppy, or anyone. All right, and enough boring talk for all of you. Back to baseball talk. USC won the College Station Regional. I just think A&M just didn't really have enough pitching depth to take that regional. I had predicted USC in my bracket as well. That Sims injury was costly. That lineup is incredible, but I didn't think the pitching depth would get them through. Whereas USC, they've got a more well-balanced team, I feel. Obviously, that pitching staff is filthy, disgusting. Mason Edwards has a very strong chance at being in an MLB rotation for a long time. And Isaac Cadena I don't know if it's Cadena or Cedena. I don't want to butcher that, so I'm not going to act like I know which one it is. Um, Absolute dog behind the plate for USC. They will take on UNC in the Chapel Hill Super Regional. That'll be a fun one. Uh, Ole Miss won the Nebraska Regional. All that sea of red to no avail for Nebraska. As Arizona State disposed of them in the regional, and in one of those games, I wasn't watching because it was on one of my travel days, but I did see the clip of Landon Hairston getting ejected. Seemed like he didn't really argue it. He knew it was coming. I saw the headline. I saw the ESPN alert. It's like Landon Hairston ejected for a bat flip. And my immediate reaction was, "Oh, that's ridiculous!" Like I was ready to go in on blue. Then I watched the clip. That bat went about 20 feet in the air. No exaggeration. Hairston knew. That's what I think. But Ole Miss running Rebs. That crazy, I think 14, 15 inning game to open the regional where Ole Miss scraped it out. Just a long marathon of a game there. And they will be traveling to Auburn for the Auburn Super Regional. Auburn played with fire, to say the least. Got smoked by Milwaukee. Shout out to the Milwaukee Cougars. That was a phenomenal regional performance. Not the result they were looking for, but they fought. They fought throughout that regional. Offense was teeing off first two games. Um, Jake Marciano was pulled in the second inning, and again, that's another guy who's a very good chance at being in an MLB rotation for a extended period of time. I was not watching. I was traveling during that first game, so I didn't watch how any of the runs scored. I cannot give you any breakdown on that. But my buddy who I mentioned was in the car with me, like, Auburn is getting destroyed. And I was like, what? Like, you're pulling my leg. No, no, nope, he was not. They teed off against the Tigers. Nuts. But Auburn did what good teams do, took the loss, took it off the chin, bounced back, regrouped, fought through the regional, beat Milwaukee twice to advance to supers. So Auburn, Ole Miss. That means the left side of the bracket, we've got Cal Poly and W V up top. They play the winner of Little Rock Troy, and the winner of UNC USC plays the winner of Ole Miss and Auburn. And those matchups will be at Omaha, of course. Uh, and back to the right side of the bracket. We will go through the bottom right quadrant now. University of Texas, the Longhorns, won the Austin Super Regional. They kind of just rolled through this one, it seemed. Again, I didn't watch, I'll be honest, this bottom right quadrant. I got good eyes on the Starkville Regional in Athens. Austin and Eugene, I wasn't watching as much other than that Oregon State game. That was a good one. Some good pitching battles towards the end. And Eugene was rocking. Eugene was lit. I saw those fans. It was no Morgantown, but I'm just kidding. Those places were both rocking. So shout out Eugene. Uh, Texas got rid of UC Santa Barbara, who did not pitch Jackson Flora on their opener and had to fight through the losers bracket. That is a decision I'm generally finding myself to disagree with. Again, it's easy for me to say this. I'm some guy talking to my computer halfway across the country. I have no idea what it's like to be between the lines, be in the dugout. All respect to those guys. I'm not saying I'm smarter than any of those guys in any capacity because I'm not, and they do their jobs. They've so much on their plates, is what I'm saying, basically. But when you look at the data, you have to start your best guy to open the regional. You have to. I don't get why you wouldn't. Um, the data is there. You are 15 times more likely to win a regional if you win game one. I did not understand that decision. I also think that throwing your best guy to open the regional helps with the end because they're more rested for potential Monday games. That extra day of rest can go a long way, I feel. Um, Again, I've never been between the lines. I'm not saying I'm smarter than any of those guys, but the data backs throwing your best pitcher to open the regional is all I will say on that topic. So the bottom right quadrant of the bracket, we have the Athens Super Regional incoming. Georgia will be hosting Mississippi State. That Athens Regional was fun. The Liberty BC game was intense. That first day, it was just madness, madness. Anyone who you know doesn't watch this tournament, show them the events of this weekend. If they have any inclination towards like the basketball or football playoffs, just a sports person in general, put them onto this. This was an incredible weekend. First time that multiple four seeds are advancing to super regionals ever. Chalk just went out the window, rolled over with an excavator essentially. Um, Both the number one and number two seeds did not make it out of regionals, second year in a row. Number one, Vanderbilt not making it out of their own regional last year. And then I'll also talk about the Starkville regional a little bit. I handicapped this one a little wrong. I had Cincinnati going deep. I love their team this year. They put up a good fight. Raging Cajuns got hot. They did what they could, but oh man, that Mississippi State offense is scary. Valencius, nasty. That Friday outing by Thomas Valencius, I was just watching like, mm, I was giving him mean mugs. Dog, he very well should be in an MLB rotation for a long time once it comes to that point as well, I would think. Obviously, you never know what happens, but I love the way that guy pitches. He was in upwards of 105. They still had him out there in the seventh or eighth inning, and um, the the Louisiana batters, or excuse me, not Louisiana, Cincinnati. That was the Cincinnati game that they were playing that I'm referring to that Valencia started. The Cincinnati hitters were putting in good quality, resilient at bats, staying in the box, fighting off, working counts, and it was like every batter that stepped up, it was like full count, Valencius drops the off speed, inside high corner, caught looking, but it's like caught looking, and it's like you can't blame the batter at all. How does that pitch even drop in there? Just nasty, nasty, dominant stuff from him. I wasn't as high in Mississippi State coming into this tournament. That was a mistake. I think that the Athens Super Regional is my other number one to watch. Get your eyes on Athens. Get your eyes on Morgantown this upcoming week. I had futures placed on Louisiana and Cincinnati. They both burned in the fire, unfortunately. But shout out Mississippi State. The best team won that regional, I would say. So that fills out our bracket. So that top left quadrant, I've already kind of hammered in on, so I won't speak about. Oh, actually, I talked about the whole left side, previewed that. So um, the Super regional matchups over on the other side. We've got Oklahoma, Kansas. We'll take on the winner of Johnny's and Alabama. That will be in Omaha, of course. And then all one seeds in the bottom right. That was the only region where chalk held. We've got Texas, Oregon, Mississippi State, Georgia. Two of those teams will meet in Omaha as well. So, yeah, this is going to be an awesome one. It's just been chaos already. Absolute madness and mayhem at every corner. My national champion is already out, Georgia Tech. I believed so strongly in that offense, and I had questions about the pitching staff. My read was I think that that offense is historic all time, and that was what was going to take them to the promised land. I was wrong. They didn't have enough pitching. Boomer Sooner. Quality, solid, overlooked SEC team all season long. Sooners were a little colder towards the end, but I like their chances against Kansas. That'll be a good one. I kind of want to I kind of want to wait more time before I make some of these picks. Because even right now, I'm just looking and I'm still just going back and forth, back and forth. Like, I don't know who I want to pick in W Cal Poly. I lean West Virginia. Home spot. Cal Poly is probably going to feel a little out of their element there. And then those clips that I showed earlier of the building, it's going to be like that and even more. I was at the game. Kentucky, Big Blue Nation had basically one section of seating reserved that was blue, and then the rest was um, WV fans. I don't know if Cal Poly is going to travel like that. San Luis Obispo to Morgantown. That sentence alone, San Luis Obispo, California to Morgantown, West Virginia. How many times do you think that trip has been made in the history of humans on planet Earth? Um, I just can't think of many other reasons why someone would have to make that trip other than the Morgantown Super Regional. I'm just in awe at what this tournament has been so far. It has been an amazing product. I honestly think this is the best tournament in college sports. And yes, that includes the NCAA basketball championship. When I was growing up, I was a huge March Madness guy. That was my thing. Followed it all the time. I thought it was the best thing ever. I love the way it's still awesome. It's winner go home basketball in March. Like, come on now. But also with how do I want to word this? TV executives who always want more on their bottom line saw the bottom line potential with college basketball. And That's the reason why we've seen 64 to 68 to 76. You're going to see in the 90s. You're going to see in the triple digits. That's the thing. I don't think 76 with basketball alone is too bad, but you know they're not stopping there. And it's all just greed. It's a money grab. There's going to be teams in basketball who are fighting to be on the bubble and their coach is on the hot seat. Like it's going to get weird over there. I think it's starting to be a money grab. But anyway, enough on that tangent. All I'm trying to say is I think this is the best tournament in college sports, one of the best sporting events on the planet. I'm also a huge World Cup guy, of course, like I said earlier. So just the fact that we've got College World Series and World Cup going on at the same time, I could not love it more. I will get back to you guys later this week with some more predictions and picks for these super regionals. I kind of want to lock in more, hammer in my research, really look at different permutations of things, look into the history of these teams a little more to make some more educated picks. Whereas I feel like if I'm looking now, I'm still just in awe from what had just happened this weekend and wanted to talk to all of you about that. So I don't think this would be a great time for me to make picks. I'd just be eyeballing and ripping it. Um, I guess for my bracket, it's like Auburn. I'll tell you guys who I put futures on. This is just my gut reaction. I placed the Cincinnati, Louisiana futures. Did okay with picks over the weekend. Brought the record up to 83 and 71. 83 and 72, but that was pretty much all a result of yesterday, calling for that St. John's regional sweep, calling for Dub V. And then the nightcap also calling for USC. I should have picked Troy over Florida. I don't know why I tried to get cute with the Gators there. I should have just picked the better baseball team. So my apologies for that one, everybody, if you trusted me with that pick. But it's all good. We've got a great few weeks of baseball coming up ahead for you. Oh yeah, back to my futures. I'll let you guys know what I placed before before we get on out of here. Again, with gambling, I do it a little bit. I don't want to promote it too much because again, that's something that if you want to do, you're probably doing it already. One thing I will say is that looking at odds from companies like DraftKings, FanDuel, ScoreBet, it can help give you an idea of the context for these matchups if you don't really have any idea who might be favored to win a game over the other team because these are establishments in Vegas that are built to take your money as efficiently as they can. And they are going to do that with all of the data that they have available. So they are trying to make, like, they have more data than we do, is what I'm trying to say. And they are setting those odds for a reason. They have their money on it. They wouldn't set those odds without a reason. So I will just rip through what I place. Actually, no, I'll keep you guys on the line for a little longer before you know what my futures are. I'll just rip through what DraftKings has. I'm in the state of New York, so the only team I won't be able to find odds on is St. John's, but I will imagine they will be one of the longest shots in the field left. So for College World Series winning future odds, oh, we also have Super Regional futures up now too. Okay. But I'll just rip through these first. They have the odds-on favorite at UNC plus 370, followed by Texas plus 400. Georgia is plus 475, Auburn plus 550, Mississippi State also plus 550. That makes sense to me. Auburn and Miss State even odds now. Yeah, that adds up. West Virginia at plus 1,000, Alabama plus 1,600, USC plus 1,900. Was about to say plus 190. No, they're not plus 190. Ole Miss plus 2,000, Kansas 2,500, Oregon plus 2,800. That surprised me a little bit. Kansas longer shot than Ole Miss. I thought they would have been more even. Um, Oregon plus 2,800, Oklahoma plus 3,500, Troy plus 4,500, Cal Poly at plus 15,000, and Little Rock at plus 25,000. And again, that is missing the St. John's odds because I'm in the Empire State. Um, so my futures that I placed on that with Georgia Tech being out of the field now, I placed one on a more favorite team that I think has, maybe more resources to make a run, had a better regular season, and that would be the Georgia Bulldogs. I thought that they should have been ranked over Georgia Tech heading into the field of 64 for their SEC double. Um, and just their performances towards the end of the season. But I thought it was an interchangeable type of rank. I'm going with the best team who I think is left in the field, and that's Georgia. Daniel Jackson, dog. That whole team, just a bunch of dogs. Caden Aoki, dog on the mound. Just so many guys who they can attack you with. Well-coached squad. Tough route. Again, they're in the chalk region, so they're going to have to run through one seeds and then meet a chaos team in Omaha. And there's a ton of room to for variance or craziness or, dare I say, madness to happen again. But I did go Georgia. I got scared of Auburn. I that pitching got them through the weekend, but that first game, I don't know what happened. I got scared a little bit, so I did not wager Auburn for the future, even though I had them going to the national championship in my initial bracket. I stayed off. The other two, and I've got a low unit size because I don't really love just moving massive amounts in and out of gambling. I just like to do it a little on the side for fun, up about like five, 600 over the course of time. So doing all right. House hasn't won yet, but I put $10 on both West Virginia and Cal Poly to win the College World Series. So obviously, one of those teams will not be winning the College World Series. They play against each other. One of them won't even make it to Omaha, but one of them will make it to Omaha. Um, I think this could be the kind of year for chaos like that. I think WV is such a well-rounded team. Um, so many guys who just, it's like the vibe I got from that team. They love their community, ton of pride, of course, ton of pride for the school. Steve Saban's great coach. If you haven't read into a lot of what he's done with that West Virginia pitching lab, he has done a lot for that program. But what I would say, Saban's included, every guy on the roster, from what I could see, um, you ask them to chop a finger off for a win, they ask you, what do you want me to chop it off with? Just grit. That might be America's team right there right now. Dallas Cowboys, get that out of here. Um, Either them or the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Everyone loves Hawaii. Wish they were in the tournament too. But instead, it is their Big West counterpart, the Cal Poly Mustangs. Um, Again, I don't know if there is more of a culture clash in the United States between San Luis Obispo and Morgantown, but just watch every second of this one. Something crazy is going to happen. That entire Morgantown regional was drunk from the start, as was the Los Angeles regional, evidenced by the fact that you are not reading University of California, Los Angeles in the bracket still. Um, but yeah, I think that either one of those teams, they're going to get hot at the right time. I like it. I like Cal Poly this weekend showed their ability in the two St. Mary's games to both tee off and pitch when they need to. West Virginia has an awesome roster in addition to that awesome culture and coaching and just resilience to win that I've mentioned before. Also, whoever wins that regional will be matched up with the winner of Little Rock and Troy. Again, I said I don't want to get in front of that train that is Detroit Trojans offense right now. That's honestly what scares me the most about these futures is I could see one of those teams winning and Troy just rattling off 10, 12 runs a game on them. And there's not much they can do because that's just how the offense has been performing lately. And don't count out Little Rock either. That is an awesome mid-major team who has the stuff to make a run deep in Omaha now. Um, but with all that being said, do I play the team that has Little Rock or Troy coming up, or do I play a team that has, you know, Mississippi State or Georgia coming up as a regional, who has Texas or Oregon, who has, you know, you could get Ole Miss, you could get Alabama. I do think that when it comes to Omaha after the Super Regionals, oh, you never know. You never know. That might just be the chalkier pick to make, for being honest. But I did play West Virginia, Cal Poly, Georgia, so I will be rooting for one of those three teams to win. But of course, baseball comes first. I want to see great ball over these next few weeks. I am so excited for Friday. Um, Before we get on out of here, because we are running low on time, I will just preview the Friday schedule for you now. I don't think the game times were announced when I was looking at this last. Oh, yep, we've got them now. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right, so noon Friday is that West Virginia Cal Poly game. Oh, I'm gonna be working. Oh, I have day job Friday. Come on, I want to watch that game so bad. That sucks, but hopefully all of you watch it if you can. Got UNC and USC. That's the 3 o'clock game on Friday. Little Rock Troy at 5 p.m. Ole Miss Auburn at 8 o'clock. And yeah, and then we've got the Saturday schedule as well. So that's Miss State, Georgia, 11 a.m. Oklahoma, Kansas, 6 p.m. Oregon, Texas at 8 p.m. All these times are in Eastern, by the way. St. John's, Alabama with the 9 o'clock game. That's a little odd to me. Why are we going first pitch at 9 p.m. Eastern for Tuscaloosa? Like they couldn't at least change that with the Oregon, Texas? That doesn't really make much sense to me, but again, I don't make these decisions. I'm just reading off the schedule. And then of course, game two of Auburn, Ole Miss, Troy, Little Rock, W Cal Poly, and UNC USC are all Saturday as well. That will be the midday slate. We've got West Virginia Cal Poly again at noon. Okay, no day job Saturday. There we go. Lock that in. 2 o'clock UNC USC, 3 o'clock Troy, Little Rock, the Troy Super Regional. Awesome stuff there. I hope that that place is rocking. I don't know what to expect. I have never been to Troy University, a little out of my neck of the woods, but I've seen the stadium and I'm hearing that it might be rock. I've been looking on X, Twitter, and it looks like people might be traveling. It's going to be tough because Auburn and Alabama are also hosting supers down there. So I feel like a lot of the crowd that might have gone to Troy might be going to those instead. Um, but I guess this is just a mini public service announcement before we wrap things up. If you can get to any of these supers, if you can get to Troy, if you're in that area, whatever region of the country you are, from my experience, just that was my first time going to a regional game. I've been to postseason college basketball before. That's also awesome, but I think that the baseball postseason's better. If you can get to a super regional, without giving up an arm and a leg somehow, do it. Word of advice. You will not regret it. I wish I could have stayed for all of the Morgantown regional games this weekend, or at least the other two West Virginia, Kentucky games. Oh my gosh. Oh, it stinks. Impartial, unbiased, of course. Kentucky got the shout out after they had won the game one, and they did a great job. Great. Proved me wrong. I was saying they shouldn't have made it to the field. They were inches away from making a super. Um, so I redact those words. Good job, Wildcats. Just tough outcome for you guys, but I would be lying if I didn't say I was hoping West Virginia would pull out the game I was at too. I wanted to be in it. I wanted to be in it, country roading with everybody. Fortunately, couldn't happen. They couldn't pull that one out, but I'm probably gonna end this podcast and watch that Country Roads video again, for being honest. The video is awesome. Great weekend of regionals. Madness, all of it. Thank you all so, so much for listening to the Mid-Major Rundown. This is Gavin Butler. We are signing off. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and get ready for the rest of this tournament. Buckle up.